Ciao Stefano, thank you for taking the time. The second time we tried before, and we had some. We were not happy, so I'm gonna just continue on what we spoke the last time. Um, you told me a lot of interesting things, and I think I didn't know that you participated in the sale of Inter football club. That you were invited by ciao, by two Italian presidents to help them, sort out Italy, and basically you work for the last 30 years on digitizing Italy, and you're also working on European Union level with AI development, etc. So
Yes, I was not involved in the sale of Inter. I was working with the company before the sale
ah
in order to set it up.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the sale was happened long after I left.
okay. um cool. So I just want to focus on the last question that we spoke about last time, so that was, I'm actually happy we're doing a second interview, because that's where the meat is, which is, how do you see Italy in 20 years? We started talking a little bit about that, so let's focus only on that question in this one.
What will happen in Italy in the next 20 years? It's pretty much all written because demographic effects take longer than one generation. 20 years is less than one generation. So what we know now is that Italy is going to face is facing a decrease in population and a strong decrease in active population. So we are going to have a significant challenge in terms of and opportunity in terms of recovery of productivity. First of all, everybody knows that Italy has a huge debt, and that's for sure. Something that is less known and less appreciated is that Italy is, over the last decade or so, is consistently managing to have a fiscal surplus. So we are effectively we are regarded as persons who live above our means, but effectively in the last 15 years we are living below our means because we are struggling to repay our debt,
Mhm.
and we are managing to to maintain an economic welfare, social welfare, and economic well-being, etc. Uh, Nevertheless, we are saving money compared to what we produce, so we are living below our our means because we have to finance the surplus in order to pay the debt. Uh, and, uh, and we are doing that without productivity gains brought by technology. And this is quite well understood. In the last 20 years, the Italian productivity compared to 20 years ago has remained almost stable or at least or nearly decline. So we lost a lot of competitive grounds compared to our international peers, and nevertheless we are managing to live well below our means. So when we are going to start to use technology in order to recover productivity, we are going to be able to manage and to handle our debt and to keep the living standards that we are accustomed to, that we are used to. So what will happen in the next 20 years is that we are condemned somehow to make a significant increase in the usage of technology, something that we have not uh, done in the past 20 years. What is called the total productivity factors, we know that technology is and what is called the solo residual. We have not invested much in technology in order to improve processes, etc. We have about 4,000 companies that are really excellent, world-class, the best in the among the best in the world in their specialties, and the rest of the country is quite laggard. And so we are going to have to make a jump and to increase the productivity of these other companies and make them world class as well. And that will indeed happen in the next 20 years because we are condemned to. We need to and we have to. By the way, this fact of the virus of the COVID is terrible, and we're going to invest a lot in, we have a clear view of the direction that we are taking. We are going to invest a lot in sustainable development, in sustainable technologies, in environment, in well-being, in how uh, to use all the, we have not done a lot with technology so far, but we're going to use it a lot in order to foster sustainable development. And something that is not wide known is that the first state, the first nation with a law for benefit corporation is Italy. So benefit corporations are a kind of companies that not only have the, the, the mission of increasing shareholders' value, which is the normal for companies, but also looking at other stakeholders' value. So, you can measure companies based on the fact that if they extract value, or they generate value, or they are with a zero effect on the planet, on the society. Benefit corporations are corporations that not only take into account the monetary aspect, but also the impacts on society and economic around them. And this kind of companies have first appeared in some states of the United States, but Italy is the first nation that has a law for these benefit corporations. And we have several companies that already are benefit corporation or are going to become benefit corporations. So companies that are looking not only to the economic results, but also to the sustainability. And in Italy, one effect that is very present is that we have many companies that are tied to their founder's name. Now, if you think to big companies, Barilla, Ferrero, Illy, but Chiesi, they have the brand name of the family is the brand of the company. And so they look for their reputation. They don't looking only CEOs are not looking only to the quarter results or the annual results, because they need to protect and defend the reputation of the family. And this is something that helps for sustainability. So this is where we're going now: increase use of technology, increase of productivity, and increase what is circular economy and sustainability.
Okay. Cool. Well, I was just thinking when you're talking, what is the role of innovation? How do you see innovation in Italy? Because the productivity increase, technology increase, sustainability increase, they're all, results of
Yeah,
innovation.
absolutely. That's why I say we are needing to incorporate a lot of innovation. We are now facing we have a significant challenge, which is cultural. That is that somehow we are used to have uh, companies that uh, where the founder is the manager, and it's very difficult for the founder to pass the baton to the second generation or to the third generation, and to bring in external management, external know-how, etc. This is the real challenge that we have. So innovation needs to happen in many sectors of the society, but mainly, in my view, in this small companies culture, being able to look not only to the present generation, but to the next generations. And so to bring in talent, to bring in people, to bring in management, to bring in fresh ideas, etc. The government is, the last governments and the present government are working a lot on making um, uh, uh, a regulatory framework that is very friendly to incorporate innovation in existing companies. Just one measure, for example, if you invest in a company, if you're an established company and you invest in an innovative company, and that company produces losses, you can discount those losses of the company that you have bought in the main company. So effectively it costs less to invest in external companies, and rather than doing internal innovation. There are a number of these initiatives or regulatory initiatives that are designed to foster innovation by existing companies.
Yeah.
And that is going to increase in the next years because it's crucial to our
Yeah.
to our future.
Well, what we noticed, because we work with a number of companies in Veneto and in Italy, I work with my partner Andrea, and we noticed that there is now a lot of investment and support for open innovation. They're telling companies to hire innovation officers, like there is this whole thing, you know. But I see all of that as just formalization, because in my experience, all these companies were doing it. You know, they were very active. I've seen so many startups in Veneto, which just they just don't talk about it. You know, I think there is a hardcore attitude where they only want to make it or don't talk about it. And there is a lot
Y-
of people putting like a million euro very easily to develop a new technology, maybe not IT, but other, you know, in other
Yeah,
industries.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and they really, but they don't talk about it. They don't talk about these
Yeah,
things.
you are
They,
completely right. This is a very well-known problem that
yeah,
we do a lot of research of innovation that is not captured by official statistics. And
yeah,
this is related to the size of the company because
yeah,
the size of the company is small and they don't want to deal with the extra bureaucratic cost and
yeah,
procedures to make
yeah, yeah,
these
yeah,
figures emerge.
yeah.
So it's apparent. We are
Yeah.
doing a lot of innovation, but that
Yeah.
doesn't come out in the
Yeah.
figures.
Yeah. So what I mean is that that's what you're saying, like that there is a culture and that is how it should be, you know, for Italy to progress. But my experience in, I don't know, I worked like 50 companies or something, and there is, then I noticed that they're highly developed in their behavior in towards innovation, open innovation, you know, research. However, they really have very little interest to formalize it, not even towards government, even internally. They really
Yeah,
don't care to put it in papers and projects. They just do it. And if it works, then you get a great product like a Ferrari. If it doesn't
that
work, nobody ever heard about it, you know.
Yeah, that's why I tell you it's related to the size of the company and
Yeah,
to the fact that it's owned by the first generation of management, and they just do it.
yeah,
I am now advising a company that makes a wonderful IoT system for Industry 4.0 with 5G internal to the buildings to the factories platforms.
mm,
It's really fantastic technology they are exporting around the world, and they don't count and they didn't account all the activity they made in innovation as research and development, which
yeah.
they should have done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what I mean is that I think in Italy culturally there is an obsession with product and general distrust over marketing. And me being a marketing person, always having a little bit of, you know, I'm also a product person, but you know, I also love marketing. I like communicating. I'm an extrovert, you know. But you know, and you're comparing probably to Americans and other cultures where there is an, you know, let's say they respect the product, but they respect marketing million times more than Italy. Italians just in general have a little bit of distrust, like, okay, you're talking a lot, but let me see it work, you know. And I like that, but it doesn't show. You know, people don't talk about
Yeah.
it. You know, that's a
Yeah,
problem
I
that I see.
understand what you're saying, and it's an interesting point of view. I need to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like sales, they don't like marketing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They like products. They love
Yeah,
products. It's
product
like,
sales,
yeah,
but marketing is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the sales are always based on, look how beautiful this thing is that I made. Take it. You know, that's it. You know, there is not much narrative, you know. I mean, compared to, you know, Americans and others that are very well, that really love to tell the story. I mean, they're masters of marketing, you know. Meaning that my experience is that there is enormous amount of startups in Italy, but nobody is gonna go and talk about being a startup. Everybody wants to talk about it when they make like 100 million, you know, and until then they're quiet. Well, anyway, so Italy is going to have flying cars in 20 years, as I understood. Yeah.
No, I
Well,
mean we're going to have a significant portion of the population that it's in the elderly phase, and we need to be and for the production, the number of productive people will decrease, and the productivity of these people will increase significantly,
yeah,
and we are going to be oriented toward technology, toward innovation, toward sustainability. That's and looking at not only at the economic impact, but the overall impact. That's
yeah,
where Italy will be in 20 years.
yeah. But, you know, Italy is known for, you know, like the fashion and the food. Like if you take the biggest stereotype, you know, obviously there is strong engineering, strong science,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you know,
that's true. But you know, if you took tourism is also a big part,
yeah,
but the real driver of our economy is high quality machinery production.
Yeah.
So we are a manufacturing country, and a very strong manufacturing country. Everybody, if you think of manufacturing, everybody will think about Germany and perhaps France, but we are ahead of France in terms of manufacturing. So we are a much higher manufacturing economy than than others. I mean, we really, if whatever thing you do, be it furniture, ice creams, lamps, etc., or cigarettes, the chance is that those products are made with Italian machines.
Yeah.
We are extremely strong in the machinery.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you from consumer point of view. I mean, there is a stereotype about Italian brands, what made in Italy means. But do you think there's going to be in 20 years a strong digital brand from Italy? Or maybe there is, maybe I'm missing something. But are there going to be strong digital brands? You think that's
Well,
possible?
I don't think so. It may happen, but I'm not that confident. We have a linguistic barrier, nevertheless,
Hmm.
because we talk Italian. Yes, we are excellent in design, so perhaps and there are some academies, universities, etc., that are now ramping up very quickly in terms of IT related design. But what I think that it's more likely to happen is that we are going to be very valued for uh, floor plan for floor industry floor innovation, machinery integration, this kind of stuff
Hmm.
more than so B2B and related to manufacturing more than B2C.
Hmm. If if you could choose anything, like if you had absolute control, like you're the god of Italy, like you have absolute power
I
to
would
do.
retire in Sorrento. Okay, that
No, 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 no! Don't retire. You cannot retire. You must. You've done good stuff before. Therefore, you must continue until the last second. I want you on your dying bed. Writing an email to someone. Do this, do that. Because I've been following your work for 20 years. Don't retire. I met
Yeah.
I met some people that do your kind of work that really affect like millions of people, and then suddenly they retire. They go make mine cheese or something, but they still do consulting, and they cannot give up. It's impossible. You will never be able to retire. Don't hope for that. Yeah. So anyway, by the way, I was in Sorrento, Louisiana. You said Sorrento, is that what you said?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
in Sorrento,
Sorrento.
Louisiana. I was driving through Louisiana this February, and I saw Sorrento, and I had good food, beignets and gumbo. I think it's Louisiana or Alabama. I think it's in Louisiana. Yeah, very good. If you mean that, if you mean
No,
that
no, I'm in
Sorrento.
Sorrento. I'm in Sorrento in the Amalfi Coast,
Yeah, yeah,
south of Naples.
yeah, yeah. Been there as well. Not such good gumbo there. It was not so good,
Mm.
the gumbo. Anyway, if you had absolute power over Italy, like what would you do in 20 years? What, like, you don't have to deal with anybody. You have to make compromises. Just what would be the perfect thing Italy must do, or everybody in Italy, or whatever, whichever way you put it.
Um, I would introduce more computer literacy in schools,
Hmm.
starting from primary schools. Uh, that for sure would be the first thing. Then, because education induces things.
Hmm.
Then I would strongly accelerate in the development of public administration. I would push in the paradigm of API first information systems.
Hmm.
So I would tell everybody you have incentives if you make information systems that expose API rather than user interfaces
Yeah. What's
and
API? What's that?
application programming interfaces.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm confusing. I was doing some documents and thinking about intellectual
No,
property.
API, no, APIs.
Yeah.
APIs.
API.
I would push for it because I regard these two as being enablers for basically transformation in all sectors. Once you start thinking, everything is going to have a digital representation, a digital twin, everything is going to have a digital system as the interface to the material dimension.
So,
No?
Stefano, I'm sorry, I just have to interrupt you for the sake of my audience. I just realized that what you say API, I call API. Sorry, I was just like, I don't want to appear a complete idiot in my own video. I know what APIs are. Sorry, I just called it different way. I was like, the spelling, because I always say API. I was like, I don't want to appear as a startup
No,
guy
API,
making.
okay,
Yeah.
API.
No, I call it API. In my language, I call it API, and I forget to translate in English API. Sorry, I was just like, super. My brain
No,
was
okay,
dead. So
never
I'm
mind.
not an idiot. I know what an API is. I make them for 10 years, so my brain stopped in that second, sorry.
Okay, no
Thank
worries, no
you.
worries,
Yeah.
no worries. So education is a transformer, is an enabler, and APIs are an enabler. Everything is going to have a digital interface, a digital twin or whatever, and you gain the most benefit when you can connect these things together. And so you need to really have all the systems that expose interfaces for other systems to delegate. That's a key enabler. And and that in all sectors, from healthcare to so it would be a very significant transformative force from healthcare industry, consumer services, logistics, whatever. It would be really a driver of accelerated innovation. I would do these two things are as the primary things really.
Yeah. So which country has this API integration well developed? Because I know we spoke about
None.
it before. You were mentioning
None.
that UK is going in that direction, like opening up all the
Yeah, for the
databases.
government. For the government, we have the laws now. I helped writing those laws, and I made the project for the digital administration. So and the strategic model, and our model now is all API based.
Yeah.
So, but if you ask me if that is going to happen, I think that is going to happen. But so we have devised the concept of government as a platform, really, so that you have APIs exposing public administration services, and then third parties, private entities, startups making the user interfaces and connecting the various public information, public sector services together. So having public administration as an enabler for other companies, for new companies. We had this strategy in place. We made all the laws, we made all the regulations, but then the government changed, and I'm not sure that this is going to be kept as it is. I think that it might happen that people really don't understanding the relevance of this might not focus on this, and so now it's a very well-defined framework. It might become worse for a while, and then somebody will come in a couple of years and will understand the advantage of doing things in that way, and then it will start again. So this is what I think. I'm not expecting it to be a continuous growth on this trend. I expect that it decreases because people don't understand, because they think to be, when you talk to politicians, they now, before, all of them like to make a new roundabout and inaugurate a roundabout or inaugurate a new street or
physical,
physical, and they want to be there showing, etc. And now everybody wants to show their new application. And well, this is okay for their ego, because they like being shown as, hey, look, I have the application with the face of the politician, but it's not good really for the development. So you need to make APIs, application programming interfaces. So I think that this attention will decline over the next couple of years, and then it will bounce back and it will grow. So we are starting high. I think we are going low, and then we're going to rebound. But yes, we have this framework for the public sector. We have laws that we made a law when I was in the parliament, whereby all procurement, if a public administration buys some software, so have some software developed because they need to do a certain thing, that software in source code is available to anyone wanting to reuse it. Anyone means that all software that is written for public administration in Italy is now open sourced. Okay, so you can go to the administration and ask for the source code, and they cannot oppose it unless, of course, there is a matter of national security. So if it's the military, you cannot do it. If it's the Secret Service, you cannot do it. But for general administration, that is true. And this is accelerating the pace of development of services because, of course, if you are a startup, a company providing a service to a public administration, you can already refer to a piece of code that somebody else has already written. And so that is accelerating, and this was one part. So the open sourcing the source code, and the other part is having these having these APIs. Now I see a trend of making centralized services with an application that bears the name of the minister on it, and of course this is very nice. And it might work well, but it's not a basis for development. No, it's
Yeah, you're reminding me because a couple of years ago, 6, 7 years ago, we worked. I had a startup in Denmark, and we were obliged towards investors to work on consumer. You know, we had milestones to gather money. We worked on consumer goals, KPIs, key performance indicators. My brain is like zero today. And then we realized that we're going to make much more money by renting APIs, APIs. And we started making a deal with someone who already had like tens of millions of users, calculating that if we sell rental per user €1, etc. So it was like a perfect business, ready to make millions a month. And investors, they don't have a clue what we are talking about. Like they just saw that consumer, meaning registrations on the website, didn't meet the goals, and we stopped. We couldn't explain, and that was also a problem on the management that was supposed to explain. But it's just that people just don't understand that there are these databases and software that can just enable someone else to make hundreds of different interfaces to that and invent new uses, and that really was upsetting to me, because just having a great idea but unable to understand it, just as you said, that interest is going to drop, because every time I work with Italian companies, they basically hire me to help them enter a foreign market. Usually, we talk about American market, and Americans have so much data. They have data for everything, and there are, of course, when you have data and APIs available, then they have hundreds of interfaces for all of it. Just like in MarTech, in sales tech, in all this, you have the data, and then you have so many different interfaces. And if just someone is working on the level of the interface and not making a platform where many can make interfaces, I mean, it's super slow. It's not very, very open, So what you were trying to create is a platform for what they call open innovation on the entire Italy, which seems amazing. I mean, we spoke about it before, but
yeah, I made that for the public administration sector, and it's the degree of openness and of platformness is being reduced now by the present government, but I think that it will start again maybe in the next or in the following one, because it's an idea that it has so much value in it that it will happen.
Yeah. Well, the problem I see is that people really need to think extremely abstractly. They need to be very abstract to understand these things. And, like concepts like innovation, open source, openness, they're super abstract terms, and because, what we're doing now is we are promoting openness, open innovation, meaning opposing to innovation, which is done by a few people in a room, just to be what you were doing basically with APIs, with APIs. And
yeah, that's exactly why I tell you these are the two things: preparing the culture and posing the basis for innovation. That's the two key issues.
Yeah. So what do you think is the biggest block? I mean, you're talking about enablers, long term.
Culture is the biggest block.
Yeah.
In the company, the culture related to the size of the companies. In the public administration, the culture of making everything from the ground up to the user interface, to the service, to the CRM, etc., built inside of the public administration with the face of the mayor or of the minister on it, and it's culture. So that's why we need to start teaching computer thinking since primary school.
Yeah.
People need to see things. Now they
Yeah.
don't see them.
Yeah. And well, I wanted to ask a good question, but it just ran. What are good examples? Do you have any examples? Like, okay, we are talking that there is a problem in culture, something is not happening. But what's a positive side? Who is doing things perfectly in Italy? Who would you say do as these people are doing, as this girl or boy are doing, this girl and guy? Who is a perfect example of what you want to do? Is there someone? Maybe the company you're consulting now.
Well, they do a wonderful thing, but I am pushing them to. I'm advising, not really consulting. I'm pushing them to become more a platform than what it is. It's they are more skewed toward product now, a platform. For example, I must say, WeSchool. WeSchool is a company that is an integration platform for teachers to prepare their course materials for teaching. uh, Instead of YouTube is WeSchool,
Hmm.
and they are really doing a fantastic job, I must say.
Hmm. Yeah,
They
yeah, I'm
are
looking at the website. Yeah.
they are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
They are not they didn't never thought about being a closed service integrated, but rather an open service. And I know they are some things they have in development, so I can say that they are really doing a very good job. Um, who else? Well, I'm not prepared. I would need to think about it.
Okay. Okay.
This is the first example that comes to my mind.
Okay. Cool. Well, I think you told me, everything that I wanted to hear, So, um, as a closing question, I always have the same question. Do you have any questions for me? Nobody. Keep in mind, nobody ever asked me anything, or they ask me some fake questions. How are you today, or did you get
Okay.
what you want? So ask me something nice, so I can, blah blah a little bit. I love doing it.
Where is your company going to be in 20 years?
um, oh, I'm gonna be 63. Mm,
So
this
you're going to
this
be a
com
kid.
this company, yeah, I'm 62. Sorry, I'm not 60. I'm not 43. Well, without me, that's for sure, because I don't have, at the moment at least, I don't believe that I'm able to grow it that much. I really need other people to grow it. I'm a product person mostly. So most likely I need to pass it off to someone who I hope keeps the initial idea but can grow it, without changing the initial. Just like with your APIs, So somebody can take it over and grow it, because the idea is really wonderful. It's to increase the communication between people with ideas, to increase innovation, open innovation. So hopefully without me, because I hope I'm not like clinging to it, because for sure there are people who can make it much bigger than me. And so I can maybe work on another product. I love working on products, on another idea. But so the main thing, I'm 90% sure without me, not because I want to sell it or something, but because I really
Okay,
hope.
and that tells where you are going to be. But what about your company? What is your company going to be?
Well, I hope that it has, I don't know, 50,000 other companies using it, and millions of innovators, because we have companies that use it and innovators, individuals who can suggest innovations, engineers, scientists, experts, customers, everybody suggesting it. So I hope just the numbers are growing, and a great number would be 50,000 companies, maybe a million, innovators, communicating between themselves, coming up with better ideas, using it as a platform to figure out things. And that would really be like a wonderful thing, So financially, that results, I don't know, like quarter billion, half a billion, if someone can bring it to that level. And but I'm thinking mostly about the result, on the societal effect. What does it create in society? That would be great. Financially, yeah, maybe there is someone who is better with money than me. Most likely, yes. So did they answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
cool. Stefano, it was great to talk to you. Thank you very much for the
thanks to
first
you.
one. And say hi. What's your dog's name?
Guapo.
Guapo. Okay, he's not gonna hear me, but we have earphones. Guapo. Ciao, Guapo.
No,
Ciao,
no,
Stefano.
Guapo. Ciao. Guapo is a Spanish name for handsome. Guapo means
Handsome.
handsome in English. In
I
English, in
thought you're
Spanish.
gonna. if I was you, I would call your dog Appy.
API, yeah.
Or API.
API.
Yeah.
No,
Cool.
API is
Thank
not
you.
a good. API is a nice name. Okay.
Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
you, Nico.
Bye.
Ciao, 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 ciao.